Once human is effectively ruining my life, and I don't mean it's stalking me, leaving me threatening letters and saying that it's going to skin me alive. No, I'm saying that it has dropped my productivity lower than it's been in decades. Wow, I'm old. The last time I was addicted to a video game like this, it was World of Warcraft Mist of Pandaria, and that was the best expansion, fight me. And it comes at just such a bad time. The next video I was supposed to update onto my channel was about the game I'm working on, because I made a whole bunch of new tiles and expanded the levels, but guess what? I haven't been able to do that. Do you want to know why? My work laptop that's right behind me right now with the updated files has still not been synced to my work desktop because I have been too addicted to this game to step away for the 45 seconds it would take to link the two. To put this into perspective, I went on vacation and still logged 6 hours of work on that game, but I can't get a single hour done now that I'm at home because of this stupid, addicting, amazing game. I kid you not, I have 3 characters. The first one I put like 30 hours into, decided I didn't like what I was doing, switched to a PvE server, got that character to max level, then decided I needed to restart and do it all again on the PvP server. I don't know why I'm like this, God, please help me. So what makes Once Human so very good that I am slowly throwing away my social commitments and my entire life for it? Well, let me start. First things first, you are a metahuman, and from what I understand, it means you're a human, then you've sucked on so much stardust that you can do paranormal things, like lift things up with your mind or make these little creatures called Deviants obey you by putting them in this cradle. Just because you're some special boy who hoovered up more stardust than you'd possibly imagine, it doesn't mean that stardust is safe. In fact, most humans are dead because of this shit. And just because you're a metahuman, it doesn't mean you're immune to the effects. You can tolerate it, but it still drives you insane. The more insane you get due to stardust contact, the lower your health pool gets, so you have to manage your sanity in this game or else you'll be too easy to kill. Now, a second ago, you heard me drop the keywords deviant and cradle, and no, we are not talking about very evil babies. We're talking about these tiny little demon creatures that you can call your own. Well, what do they do? Well, some of them fight for you and with you. Some of them try to defend and heal you. I personally love the Rampart the most because it's the best thing in the world. Also, some of them are just evil bunnies who go around killing wildlife and skinning them for you. Yes, this is both a Hitman and a Monty Python reference. Which means I gladly get to tell you at only about 2 minutes into the video that this game has Pokemon stuff in it too. You get to capture creatures and make them work for you. How amazing! Unlike in Pokemon, you're not really going to battle them and then put them into some kind of spherical contraption. You will want them in your cradle potentially, but not a spherical contraption. This is more of an oblong shape. Why am I fixating on the shape of the thing? It's irrelevant. What I'm trying to say is you can get these by battling bosses or by finding them in random events. The rabbit I mentioned earlier, you have a small chance to get whenever you skin a rabbit, so be prepared to kill a bunch of bunnies because this boy's amazing. And that's only 2 of the amazing mechanics. We have a whole bunch more to jump in now. So, what's combat like in this game? Well, essentially it boils down to whatever the hell you want it to be. I've tried quite a few options to see which one's best, and I can say they're all really solid. The only thing that stands out is the sniper build that I made because my sniper build is absolutely insane. What I'm trying to say is no matter how you want to play, you can most likely figure out a way to make it work. I haven't seen someone make a successful melee build. I also haven't looked because I've been too busy playing the game. The first character I put a lot of time into, I specialized with my sniper build, hitting weak points for additional damage, and I gotta tell you, that build is so good because it's long distance. I destroy the threats before they even see me. But then I got bored because I felt too much like an American sniper and not enough like a, rambunctious Rambo boy. So I decided to make a whole new character with an entirely different specialized build, and I call it Critical Thunder because all I try to do is get into melee range and shoot you with lightning. Yes, this gun procs lightning, and lightning can crit with this gun. Woohoo! Now, I am a little bit bored with my sniper at the moment. That's only because I'm waiting for the next phase. My character is pretty well maxed out. I'm just waiting for a bit more to do. So what's a phase? Well, you see, my good child, that's another draw to this game. There are seasons in this game, and every season is made out of 6 phases. Each phase will add additional content to the game and make the world a little bit harder. At the end of the season, there will be a brand new season with new bosses and such, from what I understand. And essentially, the world's going to reset, but you can take a lot of your jazz from the previous season with you. Not all of it. Some stuff's gonzo, but a lot of it can come with you. But because the game releases a new phase every week or so, it means that more content keeps getting added. So every time I Zerg rush to the endgame that's available at that moment, I just have to wait a week and then there's a new endgame. In fact, I almost wasn't able to make this video because phase 3 just released for my PvP character, and I really want to get in there and start doing things. In fact, my B-roll for this footage is phase 3 and it's so much fun. Maybe they need to set up a Once Human Anonymous because honestly, I am struggling to balance anything outside of this game. So basic combat is fairly easy. You just kill the enemies. In fact, the earlier levels, you only really need to use your melee weapon because they aren't putting up much of a fight. However, bosses can be a little trickier. They have weak spots and different mechanics that you have to master. What does one of these fights look like? Let's take a look. Okay, in all fairness, that look isn't very genuine because this character is maxed out and he's made to pick off weak spots. You can see that I don't do very much damage at the start, but the second that there's a weak spot available, it does way too much damage. This character's level 50, it's going to get harder as the game goes on, we're just waiting for the challenge modes. However, because I am critically addicted to this game, I decided to give myself an arbitrary challenge. I decided I wanted to see how quickly I could beat any boss. I picked the second boss in the game, it's the tree ant. Watch how quickly I beat this boy. That footage is not sped up, that was the entire boss fight. Subscribe because I killed it so quickly, it's only fair. Now, I've showed you a boss fight, but I haven't really told you how you get armaments or better creatures. Well, the entire idea is there's a little bit of RNG behind it. If you want a specific weapon, you're going to have to try to roll through it through the game machine. Or secondarily, if you want one particular weapon very badly and you do not wish to play with the chance game, you can always save up a ton of currency to buy it flat out from the same machine. That's what I did for the blueprints that I use, mostly because I do not like the RNG so much and I like that there's an option to bypass it. That way I can get the exact build I want. However, a nice thing about this game is even though it is free to play, you cannot buy power. This currency that's used in order to get progression is something that's locked behind the phases, and you cannot purchase under any means. This keeps the game feeling incredibly fair, and it's a great time. I've had several great discussions about what I'm doing with my build with other players who are doing different things, and they're curious how I got so much damage. Not to say that I'm a professional, I'm not. I'm sure there's guides online that are way better than my build, but still, I'm doing pretty good if I can have those conversations. That also leads to PvP feeling pretty fair, although I will admit my shotgun build, if I have already gotten to melee range with you, you have lost, just saying. And Deviants are much the same. Every time you obtain a Deviant, there's a chance that it is better than being a level 1 Deviant. It can be higher or better or stronger or whatever. The only real exception to that rule would be the Deviants that you get through the story. The story Deviants will always be level 1 with no special stats or special traits. Now, this game is even more addictive because even with the things I've told you before, I haven't even mentioned the fact that you get to build your own base. You get to do your own tower defense at that base. You can grow crops, you can refine ore, it's a gathering game, it's a looter shooter, it's a Pokemon game. There's so much going on, but you can't really do everything by yourself. You can do most of everything by yourself, but you get one special perk every 5 levels, and you cannot have every special perk. And these perks are massively game-changing. They can make you much better at collecting acid, which is very important, or energy, which is the primary currency between players, or make you better at smelting ingots, because that is just so huge. But all of these perks can be shared, because anything you learn from a perk, you can help other people with. Let's say you learn to make a special drill, you can sell them that special drill, and then they can use it. But perhaps they have a lot of acid because of the perks they pick, so maybe you'll trade your drill for their acid. The in-game economy is very strong. In fact, it's so strong that I did this ridiculous endeavor where I built myself a giant truck, and then I put a vending machine on that truck to sell what exactly? Orange soda. I spent an entire day building an orange soda farm, making a bunch of orange soda, putting this truck together, driving it to one of the earlier cities, and selling my orange soda, and I sold out. Over 350 orange sodas sold in just a few days. And it was a joke on the server. Everybody thought I was a little bit silly, which admittedly I am, because I built an orange soda truck, but people loved it. I also supplied a game machine for people to redeem their currency for stronger weapons, because I'm just such a nice guy, and I got the energy, which is the main currency, that I needed to continue my adventure. And I could just keep rambling about how great this game is, because there is so much to do. There are massive bosses you can go and track down, but there's also silos. Silos are like small dungeons. They typically contain 2 bosses that both drop pretty good loot. Or there's world events where you can team up with other players to fight larger threats together. There's also like giant special events that will occur randomly where you get to like fight a giant disco ball by dancing, where you can maybe get a special deviant. There's even fishing in this game, which isn't the worst implementation of fishing I've seen. And I don't even know if there's going to be in the next week or the week after that or the week after that, and I'm not even sure what the next season's gonna be after this one. All I can tell you is I'm incredibly excited, and I'm probably going to be working on another orange soda farm in just a little bit here because I don't have one on my second character, and I think I really need one, especially because I found a rare deviant that helps me farm. And even with everything I've said so far, it doesn't cover the fact that the game developers have been very vocal about what they're doing to fix the issues in the game, and they've been listening to the players a lot. There's been like 14 separate Discord posts about what they're working on and bugs they fixed, as well as things they've tweaked just for a better user experience. I don't really need to say anything else here. I'm just really excited to see what comes next. I'm excited to play more. I might even make a third alt. But what do you think about the game? Have you played it? Are you going to? Are you excited to see what comes next, or do you think that I'm full of baloney? Let me know in the comments. As always, this has been Sand for Days. I'm Course, and I get everywhere. Bye-bye now. I love cheese.